We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Searching for old treasures, blowing off the dust. Timeless stories and legendary characters. This is Talking Movies. Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Talking Movies. So today we will be talking about Michael Palin, Terry Gilliam, written and directed by Terry Gilliam, 1981, Time Bandits. Starring John Cleese as Robin Hood, Sean Connery as King Agamemnon and Fireman, Shelley Duvall as Dame Pansy, Katherine Hellman, Miss Ogre, Ian Holm as Napoleon, Michael Palin as Vincent, Ralph Richardson as a Supreme Being, Peter Vaughn as Winston the Ogre, David Warner, Evil Genius, David Rappaport as Randall, Kenny Baker, you remember Kenny Baker, R2-D2? He was Fidget, Malcolm Dixon as Strutter, Mike Edmonds as Og, Jack Purvis as Wally, and Tiny Ross as Furman. This was one of those fun and quirky type of movies, and if you haven't seen it, man, you are missing out because this thing is really funny. Yeah, it's a bit cheesy, but it is still an incredibly enjoyable film to watch. So the story goes as such. A young boy's wardrobe contains a time hole. Through this hole, an assortment of short people, dwarves, come while escaping from their master, the Supreme Being. They take Kevin with them on their adventures through time, from Napoleonic times to the Middle Ages to the early 1900s, to the time of legends and the fortress of ultimate darkness, where they confront evil. All the dreams you've ever had, and not just the good ones. So, as being a fun and quirky type of movie, they actually incorporate some of the things from Monty Python, such as the scene where after the giant walks out from the sea, it steps on a hut, which is the home of the butler elephant creature from the Find the Fish segment of Monty Python's The Meaning of Life from 1983. And some of the things that are seen in the movie are actually very close to reality, such as the gold masks of Agamemnon's priests. They are replicas of a king's death mask, found by Heinrich Schulman at Mycenae in 1876, now on display at the National Archaeological Museum of Athens. Terry Gilliam came up with the idea for the ogre's ship to be a hat on top of a giant's head from a painting by Brian Fraud. Also, a lot of tall men were initially considered to play the giant before wrestler Ian Muir was eventually cast in the role. Evil's apparatus on his head was influenced by H.R. Geiger's work on Alien from 1979, which also featured Sir Ian Holm. Coincidentally, one of Evil's lines is, "And the day after tomorrow." Sir Ian Holm appeared in The Day After Tomorrow 2004. So, in the movie, one of Napoleon's generals says Napoleon is 5'1". Some sources say he was really 5'6". Coincidentally, Sir Ian Holm is 5'6" in real life. Only one set was built for the scenes on the Titanic. All the shots of the Titanic outside of this set were actually stock footage. And for all you sci-fi geeks out there, most of the cast appeared in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And on the heels of that, all of the bandits appeared in Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And here's a funny one for you. While filming the sequence in Sherwood Forest, in which the Time Bandits inadvertently crash into Vincent and Pansy's carriage, Terry Gilliam had scaffolding built for the actors to jump off. When directing the scene, Gillum instructed them to jump in such a way as to land around Michael Palin and Shelley Duvall without actually falling on them. To better illustrate what he meant, Gillum climbed to the top of the scaffolding and jumped off, landing directly on top of Duvall. When Evil has captured the Time Bandits in the cage, he walks up the stairs. It is not David Warner, but a double, because Warner suffers from vertigo. And it was Sir Sean Connery's idea for Agamemnon to do magic tricks for Kevin. And it was also Sir Sean Connery's that suggested that he appear as one of the firefighters near the end of the movie. Also, no studio wanted to make this movie, so executive producers George Harrison and Dennis O'Brien mortgaged their office building in Cadogan Square to raise the $5 million to make it. And of course, some of the goofs. Tire tracks are visible in the sand in the initial Grease scene following the killing of the Minotaur. After Kevin and the bandits escape with the map from Evil, Kevin says, "I'll divert them," but his lips do not move. And while approaching the city in the Napoleon scene, the same group of people is executed twice. Because, killing them just once, it just isn't good enough. When Redgrave, Derek O'Connor, arrives at Robin Hood's camp after meeting the Time Bandits, he crosses a bridge and swats a peasant with his coat. In the next scene, he does exactly the same thing. When the cowboys lasso Evil, one of the ropes is draped over his shoulder, but in the next shot, all of the ropes are secured around his shoulders. Another scene right after Randall breaks the glass, separating them from the fortress, he is shown taking the map back. And then the immediate next scene from overhead shows him doing the exact same motion again. In one scene during a storm in the forest, towards the end of the Robin Hood sequence, just as Randall says, "Don't rush me," a stagehand is visible to the right of the frame operating an off-screen smoke machine. And as you look through the movie, there's actually numerous scenes that seem to be repeated over and over again. Now, this could have been just them having fun since, hey, these are the Monty Python guys after all, so it would fall in line with some of the other stuff that they have done. Anyway, guys, that is all I have on this one. Have you ever seen this movie? And if you haven't, why not? It is good for a chuckle. You really should check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed this, go ahead and destroy that like button for me. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I hope you have enjoyed yourself, and I hope you will consider subscribing. And I will catch you all next time. Later, y'all.